Hello. Thanks for coming to walk with me today, and Merry Christmas. I hope that you have had a wonderful time, either celebrating alone, celebrating with your family, or if you don't celebrate, well, I hope you're having a good Wednesday. Today I'm walking at 1.8 miles per hour, and as we are in the month of December, I'm working on those 9,000 steps a day. Right now I'm at 7,420 steps, so just trying to wrap up my day and thought, you know what, let's just go ahead and do our video. So I've been talking about a book series, the ACOTAR book series, and I'm taking a slight pause from that. I just finished up book 2 in the last video, but today I'm changing it up a little bit and taking a pause since it's Christmas, so I can tell you about the Christmas gift that I got myself, and that is a new car. Well, it's not a brand new car, but it's new to me. So to explain how I got here, I'm going to go back in time a little bit, and we'll see where we get. So I used to have a 2013 Lexus RX F Sport. It was a white exterior and a black interior, and I loved that vehicle. Loved it. I did wish it had Apple CarPlay, but it did have Bluetooth, so I could still connect and hear the music I want, and I could still send text like using the Hey Siri feature. So it's not like I couldn't use it, but obviously having Apple CarPlay would have been a great addition. My husband actually installed an Apple CarPlay like hardware into my car, but it never quite worked. It was inconsistent, so we took it out and just went back to what was factory installed, and I survived. But basically I got that RX after I'd had a Toyota Corolla for a little bit. I just wanted more space, and I missed having an SUV. So I got it a few years old. I think I got it, I don't know, maybe it was like 5 years old by the time I got it. I don't really remember, but I just loved it so much. It was so comfortable. I thought it was so pretty. I felt safe in it. It felt reliable. All those things, life was grand. So it happened to turn out that right around 100,000 miles, it was time for me to get a new vehicle. And so I'm like, what do I want next? And my husband, who is super into vehicles and very knowledgeable about all kinds of things when it comes to vehicles, basically asked me, like, what am I looking for? So I provided him a list, and he started his search, and he basically came back to me saying I could go for another Lexus RX. I could go for a Mazda CX-5, or something new coming out for that year was a Mazda CX-50, or I could go for an Acura RDX. So I went to look at all of these choices. We actually started with Mazda, and if you've ever seen Mazda red, then you know it's the best red. Like, I'm not saying other car companies don't have a beautiful red, but Mazda red just hits different, as they say. And so I saw a Mazda CX-5. It was red. I thought at first the interior was black, which is my preference in car interiors, but it was actually like a dark chocolate brown. But anyway, we saw that, test drove it. I was like, ooh, I really like how this looks. It's very, if you have a Mazda or if you've seen a Mazda recently, like, they have all the features, they have all the updated tech, and it's very minimalist still. Like, it's simple but quality, and it's good. Like, I liked it. I really did like the way the CX-50 looked inside as well. And I don't recall, so here's a spoiler alert, I did not get the Mazda CX-50 because I can't even recall what color we drove. It might have been like a navy or like dark blue one. I think the color combination and the exact like specs I was looking for, they didn't have it on the lot at the time, so I didn't get to see what one would have really been like. But in the end of it all, I decided that I liked the CX-5 better. We did also test drive an Acura RDX, and my best friend actually drives one. And I always think it's really nice when I ride with her. And I thought the one that we test drove was fine as well. It was at it wasn't at an Acura dealership. It was just like at a huge luxury car dealership. And there were like ants living in there, which I understand is just a problem for that car, not all Acuras. But the like infotainment center and all the controls and all the buttons in the Acura RDX, like it's just not for me. It felt a little too futuristic for me. I kind of felt like I was in a spaceship looking at all of that. Like, and also you have to consider, I was comparing it to the Mazdas that I look at, which I mentioned had a very simple, sleek, easy to navigate design. And so lastly, I did check out another RX. The body style, and I don't know enough about cars to tell you this, but what I do know is there was the 2013, whatever year those body styles of RX was, that's my favorite and still is my favorite body style for Lexus RX. Then the next few years had a different body style, which at the time was what I could afford. And then they had the newest body style, which at the time when I was car shopping was too rich for my blood, as they say. So I was like, you know what? I don't mind that I would need another used Lexus if I went Lexus, but I just did not like that style. I'm like, no thanks. So then it was between the Mazda and the Acura, and at the end of the day, I just really preferred the look and feel of the Mazda CX-5. And looking back, I will say I'm an impulsive decision maker, and as a matter of fact, in January or February next year, I'm actually going to get tested for ADHD. Pretty sure I have ADHD. Anyway, I'm really impulsive, and I fell in love with that Mazda CX-5. And I typically go for a neutral car. Like I've had white cars, I've had silver cars. I did have a convertible Beetlebug once, and it was that light, like baby blue color. It was so cute. But anyway, but when it comes to colors on cars, I always thought it would be fun to have a red car one day. And like I said, that Mazda red, it's called Soul Red. It's just chef's kiss beautiful. I didn't love the chocolate interior. Like I said, I wanted black, but it was so dark that I'm like, all right, it'll do. And so very impulsively, the day after test driving, I traded in my Lexus for Mazda. It was just time for me to get some like safety features. It was time for me to get CarPlay. It was just time. It was time for me to get a new vehicle. So I got it, and I really loved it. Those first few months, I thought the driving experience was awesome. Like I felt really safe. I felt like it looked so good. Literally people at the gas stations were like, wow, that color is so nice. Like it was getting compliments left and right. And then a few months in, like I started noticing some things that I didn't pay attention to during a test drive. And I do want to say right here, right now, that there was absolutely nothing wrong with my Mazda CX-5. Quality, a year later, awesome. Zero problems, like still an excellent choice of vehicle. And if you have one, you know they're a great vehicle. But it was just missing a few things for me that I didn't realize I was going to miss so much from being a Lexus owner. And just because it's a smaller SUV than the Lexus RX that I had. So I'm like, this will just take some getting used to and it'll be fine. And honestly, it would have been. But anyway, I'm pretty short, so I had to put my seat up so I could touch the pedals and, steer, the important things for driving. But because of that, and the way it's set up, I was never able to use my armrest. Now, is that a huge deal? No, of course it's not. But it did bother me. Like, I could never use my armrest. It just didn't work for my height. And the other problem I had is, so here's the armrest, and right here at the tip of the armrest is where the cup holders were. Never in a million years did I think that I should think about cup holders when I was looking at and test driving cars. But if you're looking at or test driving cars and you have a lot of cups in your life, consider taking one with you and checking that out, because I have a Dunkin' Run for Coffee on Mondays. Like, they have deals for Mobile Order Mondays. That's the day of the week that I have my coffee out. And sometimes I get a coffee with a whipped cream on top. And as I said, I can't use my armrest, but guess where my arm happened to land? Right on the drinks. And so I can't tell you how many times I ended up with like whipped cream or drinks in general right here on my arm. Again, is that the end of the world? Of course it's not, but it did bother me. I also really missed having, well, I still had keyless entry with the Mazda. There's a button outside to press. Again, not a big deal at all. But for me, I really missed just being able to walk up to my car and the door unlocking. That was just, I feel like I just really got spoiled with some Lexus touches that I was missing out on Mazda. Obviously, there is a price difference, so of course there are differences. And yeah, there was some more stuff as well. I'm blanking right now, but I definitely had myself a little list of all the things that I wanted and missed. So I kind of been saying to myself the past year, and sometimes out loud to others, like, I really miss Lexus. I think my next car will be a Lexus again. I think my next car will be a Lexus again. And I have a Lexus now. So basically, I knew that Mazda had a new vehicle out, the CX-70, which is closer to a Lexus RX size. And so I went to test that out because, like I said, I like how the Mazda drives. Like, it's a nice drive. It's not as comfortable or luxurious. It's still luxurious, especially for the price. And honestly, had I went with the CX-70, I would have had a few more features than what I have now. Like, the back seat would have had heated, maybe and cooled seats. I don't know, little things like that, those little touches. And it looked really nice inside. Again, another very simple looking design, but high tech, had everything you need. But when I test drove it, it felt like I could feel the weight of it, if that makes sense. Like, it just felt heavier. And I'm like, I don't know that I need this. I mean, the cargo space in that thing is huge, because the CX-70 is basically the same as CX-90, but the CX-90 has 3 rows. So they just got rid of that 3rd row and gave you all the cargo space. If you're somebody who does a lot of like traveling and have a lot of suitcases and such, like, or if you have like large dogs that you would need to like store a crate and stuff in the very back, like, that thing is spacious and it is nice. And especially for the price, it is really nice. So if you're looking into SUVs, I mean, check them out for sure. But after I test drove that, I actually was like, you know what, my heart is with the Lexus, so let's just go down there and try it out. And then I sat in one and I was like, oh no, I shouldn't have come here. Like, it feels like I'm home again. Like, anyway, all the choices available at the Lexus dealer were out of my budget, or they didn't have like the specs or the color or whatever I was looking for. So my husband, again, loves vehicles. He also loves researching, so he started the search, and the BMW dealer down the street actually had one. So what I think happened is there was someone like me who possibly had BMW before, thought they would give something else a try, gave Lexus a try, and it wasn't for them, and they went back to BMW. At least that's my theory. I don't know if that's true, but But it's kind of like me. I gave Mazda a try, and it was great. It really was, and I enjoyed my year of Mazda. My husband actually got a Mazda CX-50, so I still get to enjoy the Mazda life, and his is also red, so I still get to see the beautiful red. But now I have a Lexus RX again, white on black, just like my old one. I mean, it's a different body style because it's obviously a newer year, but since it was at the BMW dealership, like, here's a little tip for you. If you find a car that you like, I don't know if this happens with all like brands of cars, but for this luxury type of car anyway, BMW, like, they didn't even have this car, which it is my car. It's a nice car. They didn't even have it on the main lot because, they're selling BMWs. So they have a lot down the street, a little overflow lot, and that's where it was. So when we went to see it, someone had to go get it for us. So my husband is also really great at negotiating deals for vehicles, like every single time, new, used, it doesn't matter. He does so much research and has so much like proof of why a trade-in should be a certain value, of why the car we're purchasing should be a certain price. Like, he really does his homework, and I am so grateful. And because BMW, like I said, they want that Lexus on their lot. They probably didn't want my Mazda there either, but yeah. So we were able to, like, we already had numbers in our mind that was going to fit my budget, numbers in mind that was going to be a good deal for my trade-in and for purchasing the vehicle. And my husband was even able to get better than the already really good deal we were planning to get. And I really think it's because they didn't want that Lexus on that BMW lot. You know what I mean? So next time you go looking for a used vehicle, maybe see if there's one at at a different company. I feel like I got super lucky. This was a one owner vehicle, clean Carfax. I mean, it feels like, my car was like a year. Mine was a 2023 Mazda CX-5, and this is a 2024 Lexus RX. But basically, this person, like, I had bought my Mazda in August last year, and this Lexus was purchased by this other person in October. So we had our cars about the same length before we both decided to switch it up. But I am so grateful that I was able to find what I was looking for. And I definitely learned a lesson, because obviously it cost me some money to make this change. And I learned to not be so impulsive and to really think about what you want, and to make sure I did last year, like, try out different things, but like when I sat in that Mazda, I made up my mind that was my car, and then it was. But now I know when you make a big purchase, there's a lot of things you have to consider, even things as simple as tilting side view mirrors and cup holders and armrests and size of vehicle. Probably things normal people think about. I'm kind of normal, but anyway, I'm really happy and I'm really grateful, and I learned a lesson. So Merry Christmas to me. This is going to be my gift for the next few years, and I'm totally happy with that. But I hope you and your family, whether that's you and your friends, whether that's you and your actual family, whether that's you and your pets, whether that's just you by yourself, hope you had a great holiday today. And don't forget, New Year's is coming up. Set those goals or intentions. Actually, my friend Nancy and I did our podcast, Bitches Be Cray, and we have an episode around like setting up your intentions and goals for 2025. So head over to Spotify, Apple, Amazon, or YouTube to check out that podcast and see how you can set up your goals and intentions for 2025 as well. Thanks for walking with me today.